Hey everybody, it's Jeff here once again with Entrepreneur Essentials here at T-Werx, and I am here with my friend Joey McGirr today.
Hello.
And he is going to talk to us a lot about social media, and I will tell you, one of the most networked people I know, one of the best online folks that I've met anywhere. We've met each other, years ago through just networking, and I've just continued to watch him just excel at really doing that and connecting people. So always, right down below me is our subscription button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of these updates, because sometimes we do some extra bonus episodes that we may or may not blast out to everybody, but they're there for the subscribers. So if you don't know about them, you're not going to get to see them, and there's some really cool bonus materials.
Nice.
Joey,
Hey.
tell me about your entrepreneurial journey, buddy.
My entrepreneurial journey. So I've been an entrepreneur my whole life.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I was that kid who went down one side of my street and ripped all the flowers out of my neighbor's yards. When I was 6 or 7, and I put them in my red radio flyer wagon.
Okay.
And I crossed the street and I knocked on the door of my neighbors that were opposite the ones that I just stole from, and sold them the flowers.
Sweet.
Still with a ball of dirt and roots hanging off the bottom. I didn't pot these things. I didn't think that far in
We're
advance.
beyond the statute of limitations on
And
this
they were
now.
happy to buy them from me, so so I definitely did that. I had the lemonade stand, I did all that stuff. When I was in high school and getting ready to graduate, my parents said, if you go to the junior college, you can continue to live here for free. And I thought, well, that doesn't sound too great. But they were trying to sell me on the idea, hey, you could live rent free with mom and dad.
Yeah.
Wink, how great that is. And I didn't think that sounded so great, because I thought, why would I go to college? I'm going to go start my own company. Why would I? Why would I waste 4 years going to school to get a job when I already have talents I'm going to go exploit right away?
I could steal things from people and sell them to
Absolutely.
other people.
Well,
That's great.
I'd learned my moral lesson at some point between being an elementary age school kid in high school. I wanted to. I really wanted to be a filmmaker. Is what I wanted to be.
Nice.
I wanted to tell stories, and I had some talent with a camera.
Okay.
And this was back in the early '90s, and I was still shooting on 35 millimeter film.
Yeah.
So it was very expensive to start a business as a photographer, but I did it. I had friends, I networked through them, and one friend of mine I grew up with had a boyfriend who was in a band. The band needed posters for a concert. They needed an album cover, and so she introduced me to his producer, and I had a paid photography gig, and that just sort of blossomed into other opportunities.
And you grew up in California, right?
I did. I grew up in San Diego.
Got it.
And so I spent 33 years there. On and off again, retail jobs and entrepreneurial endeavors. I had 3 different companies in California before I moved to Texas. I went through some pretty rough personal stuff, and I ended up being a single father with a child who, although she was special needs at the time, she's perfectly normal now. She's almost 11, and you wouldn't know it. She was born extremely premature, 14 weeks premature. And my folks had retired to Cedar Park. They were in California, they retired. They moved out here to the Austin area, and when my daughter was 11, I closed everything up out in California, packed everything into my car. Actually, I packed all of her stuff into my car, because she was really the only thing I was taking care of at the time, and I came out here. I spent 18 months being a full-time dad and a part-time barista at Starbucks.
There you go.
Can't pass up the benefits. They're pretty good. That was in 2008. That was 10 years ago. Less than 2 years later, in 2010, I had started my business. I had looked at all the things I had been able to do in the past, the networking. All of my companies that I ran, I did guerrilla marketing. My photography business thrived because of my MySpace profile that I used as my photography portfolio. And so I knew how to use social media. I knew how to do a lot of this stuff. And I decided to go out and find out what people in Austin needed help with. I didn't really have a solid plan. I had some ideas of things I could do. But I got out, started networking, and I was explaining how social marketing worked in 2010, and nobody knew what I was talking about. And so I said, well, let's meet at your office. Let's have a one-on-one. And show me your Facebook page.
What?
They're what? Right? Show me your Twitter account. My what? So I started setting these things up for people, and really quickly what happened was I got one of two opportunities. They would either ask me to continue to consult with them and teach them how to do this, so teach them how to fish through social media, or they would say, I see the value, but I don't have the time. Can I just pay you to do this for me? And so I started in January of 2010. By April, I had 6 clients, and I was off to the races. I was working 18 hours a day, sitting at a computer, being their social media outreach, and even at that point going, okay, there's a lot more here than I even know. I see a ton of things that I can do. I don't really know how to exploit this to its fullest potential. So signed up for all the webinars, went to all the conferences, made friends with the other people in town, like Kate Buck, who are doing amazing things in social media, and learned from them. And went to social media club was a big thing at the time, so I go, there'd be 300 people in a room, and I was just networking and meeting everybody I could, which you said earlier, I'm the most networked guy, or one of the most networked guys in town. I hear people introduce me that way a lot, and it's amazing how many more people I meet every single day who I don't know, they don't know me, right? And
there's a lot of people out there, bud.
Yeah, it's incredible. I was just having lunch with Grace Lanny before coming here, and she must have mentioned 10 different people. Oh, do you know so-and-so? And I'd say, no, I don't know them. She goes, oh, I'll introduce you. I love that. I love that, a good networker doesn't know everybody. They know all the good networkers.
That's exactly
And then they have resources to all the resources. And so I'm blessed that I've met some pretty incredible people like yourself who know everybody. And so it's easy to get around.
I'm the same way. I mean, it's like, okay, I know a few really well-networked people that can pretty much connect me to anybody in town. I think that's the key.
That makes you one of the most networked guys in town.
Absolutely,
So I did that, and fast forward 8 years later, I'm still doing the same thing. I have clients from Hawaii to New Hampshire.
Okay.
Excuse me. Should have turned that off. I have a company that runs pretty much independent of me. For most of the time, I do a lot of the damage control and the putting out fires. I do a lot of the consulting and the strategy piece in terms of setting things up, and then I turn it over to my staff, and they do all the rest. It's my wife. Oh, good. I'll just talk to her later. I'll call you later, honey. I'm in a meeting, so I am.
And it's on film this time, so
I have proof. I'm not just goofing off at a Top Golf or something. It's been really great. We're getting ready to do a little traveling here next month. Actually, I'm going to go see some of my clients in the Northwest, up in Portland and up in Washington. So we're gonna take a cruise. So might as well have a little. They call it leisure travel. I think it's business
and leisure. Okay, well we're already up here, so let's just take the cruise after that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Take the wife and the kids. So enjoying life, enjoying the business that we're doing. And so that's my journey. Sorry if it took too long, but
no, it's fantastic. No,
that's a long journey.
Well, let's dig a little bit deeper into some of the things that you do now, because your business has changed, and it's funny because I keep talking to, one of my real good friends is Bill Combs over in Round Rock, and Bill's kind of the same thing. He was self-taught. Okay, nobody knew what the heck Facebook was 10 years ago. He started about the same time you did, and it was like, all right, well, we'll figure it out, and and just kept building and growing from there. So
exactly.
So talk a little bit about how that business has morphed for you to today.
Yes, and as you know, social media changes all the time.
Yes.
Constantly. And it's drastically different today than it was in 2010. It's even drastically more different than it was even 2 years ago with the advent of video, becoming more and more prominent in everything that we do. A lot of what I do is curation.
Okay.
A lot of it is, it's not, I try to teach my team, don't create content. Content exists all around us. A lot of our clients are large hotels, Hiltons and Marriotts and La Quintas and some Wyndham hotels, and so they're already creating a lot of content that we can use. We don't have to create anything new. So that's a big part of it. Is and we've gotten really good at finding good content and then just reestablishing or redisplaying it in different ways for our clients, because I like to view what we do a lot of like how a museum curator manages a museum. They don't create the art.
No.
But they can take a piece of art and put it on the best wall with the best light, right? And make sure that the crowd that's going to come by that is going to see it and going to respond to it. I'm a big proponent of organic, and as you know, organic has become increasingly hard year after year on social. Just like Bill was phenomenal at the ad side and spending money on, through social, I try to do as much creative work as I can in order to capitalize on the organic side. It was pretty interesting during Small Business Festival when we were here at T-Werx, how, I don't remember who it was, somebody was giving a lecture and they were talking about how the typical Facebook page sees 10% reach on any given post.
Yeah.
I have clients that are getting 150, 200, even 600% organic reach because it's about the audience. If you go, okay, well, we're going to just buy a bunch of likes and we're going to run a bunch of ads, Facebook is going to dial that down and make it very hard for you to get organic reach. You're not going to be really saturating your content into the right market. So we try to really focus our angle on how do we curate a great audience who really gives a darn about the client, who really wants to see what they have to say, and how do we create content when we do create it that the audience wants to see, right? We're so tired of National Donut Day and Travel Tuesday and all the Feel Good Friday,
Throwback Thursday.
We don't want to see that in our newsfeed anymore.
Yeah.
Motivational quotes are great and they get likes and stuff like that. We are actually trying to create value content that the audience that we've curated continually want to see, and it gets harder every year to do that. But
sure,
we still try to excel at that. And we of course play with ads and experiment constantly.
Talk now a little bit about what's new in your business today.
So things are transitioning. As I mentioned earlier, I'm passionate about the organic reach.
Yeah.
A lot of that stems from a personal desire of mine to help entrepreneurs actually genuinely connect with other people. As I mentioned also earlier, my business career early on was grown mostly out of guerrilla marketing, and a lot of that was just genuinely networking with good people and and getting the referrals from them.
Yeah.
I've been working with Emily Leach, who you know, and we both have a heart for freelancers and freelance entrepreneurs, and I would love to work with them in the capacity where they can continue to work on their talents constantly without ever having to stop and then go network or go market or do whatever they need to do to get the gig, right? So I'm thinking through some processes on that, on actually creating, and I'm not the only one doing this, I've found several people actually creating similar things, but how do we create a product that is the freelancer so that when they, which is very similar to what you guys are even doing, right?
Yep.
That allows them to continually just do graphic design, just do copywriting, just do whatever it is their talent is, and the leads just come in because there's a system in place. And so I'm very passionate about that, working toward that. I am relaunching a podcast that I started last year. I initially called it the Invite Connectivity Podcast, and it was all about the philosophy of networking, good networking, not the kind of networking that makes us all sick to our stomach. I'm going to change the name to the ROI of connecting.
I like that.
Because I want people to stop thinking about, oh, I know I got to connect with people. Just keep telling me stuff I already know. It's not going to be helpful. How about we put it under the context of there's some real value here.
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing, and if you're not trying to do it in a manipulative way, but you're actually genuinely trying to, how do I help you? What's keeping you up at night? What do you need today you're not getting?
Yeah. How can I connect you to
if
somebody?
If I don't do that, I probably know somebody who can help you.
Yeah,
and they'd be even willing to even come over and help you move furniture for free if that's if that's something that you need, right? If you're desperate, right? We all need to get together and help each other out, and I'm passionate about that. So that's kind of where I'm going to right
Cool. Well, I think that's a fun side of the business to head to.
Yeah.
All right, so fast 5 questions now.
Okay.
Wake up in the morning, business is totally gone.
Yeah.
You have $500 in your pocket, laptop, computer, place to live. What do you do first?
Piece of cake.
All right.
I start finding where people are gathering.
Okay.
I use Eventbrite, I'll use Meetup, I'll use Facebook events, and I will get dressed and I will get out of the house and I will go meet those people. The business I have today exists because I didn't have anything.
Yeah, because you'd moved here from California.
I had zero money in the bank. I was making enough money on a monthly basis to make my car payment and my cell phone payment. I was living with my mom and dad in a 2-bedroom apartment with a newborn, with a toddler, and I would work from 5 in the morning until noon, and then I would go home and shower, and I'd go to a networking lunch, or I'd go to a happy hour. And it was great. I could use Meetup, I could use Eventbrite, I could use Facebook, and there's a number of other different sites. And I had a full calendar. I just pull my calendar. I was digital. I think at the time I even had a Franklin Covey 8 years ago, right? And I would literally write everything down. Now I just use my Google Calendar, and I just chock it full of great meeting spaces that are housing events I could go to. I got to the point where people who charge for events I would go to their events so often that I wouldn't know if I'd be able to make it, so I'd show up last minute, and they'd be like, somebody would stop me and say, like, "You're not here to, you didn't pay to get here." David Gonzalez is like, "Just let him in already, it's okay." And so I love that, right? So that's what I would do. I would it wouldn't cost me a dime. I would be able to just go out and start meeting people, and because I'm not there to try to sell them, I'm there to try to create value in their life. I'm there to figure out what their need is before I tell them what mine is. Oftentimes it just cascades very quickly from that point on, and I would be fine. I'm actually writing a book based on the ROI of connecting concept, and the first chapter takes you through this scenario of, we just airdropped you into a city where you don't know anybody, you have you have enough to live for 6 months, we're going to give you an apartment or a flat, and you've got to figure out what to do.
Go make it happen.
And here's what I lay it out, here's exactly what I would do.
I love this. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah.
What was your biggest business mistake or entrepreneurial mistake you've made?
I wish I knew then what I know now. I wish I had spent more time with mentors. I wish I'd spent more time getting around good business people when I was in my early 20s. I wish I hadn't got retail jobs when I panicked and thought I needed to make some payment or some kind. I wish I'd just been poor longer in my 20s and really worked toward solidifying whatever it was my dream was back then, and I'd be a lot closer to it now. But I'm working toward it now still, and I have a lot better idea of it at 43 than I did at 23.
Absolutely. But sometimes you just got to kind of wait for things to happen in your life too, and it wasn't the time. What's a good book that you would recommend for an entrepreneur?
So many. I love books, and I read so many. Right now, I'm reading Chet Holmes' book, The Ultimate Sales Machine.
Nice.
Excellent. If you want to know anything about sales, this is a fantastic book. But the best marketing book I've ever read is a book called Marketing Your Services by a guy named Anthony Putman. And I got a short story. My parents, when I moved to Texas, they were running a storage facility. And it was right next door to a business park similar to what T-Werx is in. And somebody had emptied their office out in the middle of the night and filled the dumpster. And the owners wanted somebody to go clean that out, and here I was just working barista job, not doing a whole lot with my life, taking care of the kid. And my mom says, "I'll watch your daughter, and the owner will pay you like $100 if you go clean the dumpster area out," right? And it was just full of furniture. It wasn't full of disgusting stuff. But in the dumpster was a box, and in that box was business books. And that Marketing Your Services book I got absolutely free because I pulled it out of a dumpster right here in Cedar Park, Texas. And I have read it 6 times. It will change your life. It's phenomenal. And it was written in 1990. It's pre-internet. He doesn't mention anything in there about internet marketing. And that and How to Win Friends and Influence People have been my 2 business Bibles my whole life.
The funny thing is, I've been doing a lot more going back to, I started as a copywriter. That was my original career was copywriter. And I've been going back and reading some of the old copy books because, quite frankly, it doesn't really change. From what I learned in copywriting, what you do today, it's not different. And some of the best copywriting books were written back in the 40s and 50s when advertising really took off. That's when, that real pre-internet days. So it's,
Isn't that amazing?
Those are the classics. So
I love it.
What's a tool that you use in your business every day?
That's a good question because I'm always playing with different tools, different CRM this week than last week. I would say Buffer is a good one for my business. Buffer is nice because a lot of my business is content, but I actually don't use it for my clients. I only use it for my own personal stuff. But what's great is I have so many things, I have so many little irons and so many fires that being able to use Buffer both at my computer when I have an email I want to put out on a particular channel, I can do it from my computer, and if I'm out and I've got 5 minutes and I'm killing time going through my email, I can do it even from my phone. So it's been a really great tool.
I really like it. I mean, it's probably the most simple of those type. We've been experimenting with co-schedule just to create more volume of what we're doing. But
I've never been a huge fan of dashboards. I mean, I pay for Sprout, I pay for Hootsuite. My team uses them. I got in and I play with them every now and then just to make sure that if things have changed, I'm up to speed on them. But I don't. Buffer is really
Buffer works.
All I need.
The whole idea is get something from point A to point B and schedule it.
Exactly.
So that's awesome. How do people get a hold of you?
I'm really easy to find, but my name is hard to spell, I guess. So joeymcgirr.com is the easiest way to get a hold of me.